I mean, if there was one thing for an older farmer, it'd be, to make sure that you're being conscious of your neighbors, because, everybody's a voter, and we want to make sure that everybody's supporting agriculture. Everybody wants to do the right thing.
I tell you, it's fun to get done every year. I mean, that's an accomplishment. I'm done. The planting's done. I mean, you're never done, but the harvest is done. That's it's just an accomplishment. Like winning a game.
We, as a farmer, you're kind of borrowing the land from the future generation. So you need to take care of it while you're there in your time to be on it, and you need to make sure that it's in as good or better shape for the next generation when they come along.
Over half of Ohio is farmland. The state is the #1 producer of eggs and Swiss cheese in the United States. This area, known as the Crossroads of America, has a strong economic basis in farming, and as a result, efforts towards sustainability in agricultural practices would be instrumental to preserving the quality of Ohio's watersheds and improving them for generations to come. With this in mind, we took a trip to Clinton County, Ohio, to speak with the people who know farming best. Rusty Rich and Greg Collett, both farmers specializing in soybean and corn production, as well as Jason Sneed, a representative of the Clinton County Soil and Water Conservation District Office.
I think farmers themselves will make, at least American farmers will make agriculture sustainable just because of their nature and because of the economics of it.
There are crops that's being grown just for the purpose of conservation and like building soil or building organic matter.
It helps with water getting through. It's letting air, because crops need oxygen. If your soil is really hard, really tight, it suppresses root expansion. What they are, they're a temporary storage. There's a levee made and water will pool, and there's a series of underground drainage tile. They're orange standpipes, big holes in them. They slowly drain that water out. I mean, they'll catch the water, it'll look like a pond, like a small lake, and then they've got an orifice, so it slowly lets the water out. Sometimes it'll reach that levee, go to the next one, and then it'll pool there, or it'll be a watershed laterally of it. It'll come into it, and those things typically will last, if maintained, will last forever.
What do you feel has been your most effective means of preventing soil erosion and conserving the soil?
I think the waterways are the biggest thing. We've added a lot of waterways. The government had I guess over the last 8 years, 10 years, probably the government's had a big push towards waterways. So we've installed quite a few of those to help with soil erosion.
During the installation of them, USDA, there was cost-sharing dollars, which meant they paid 90% of the installation.
Reducing water runoff from agriculture requires a two-pronged approach. First, we must locate point sources of farm pollution by providing the proper funding to designated scientists. This would amount to about $300 per inspection. The next step is the implementation of sustainable technology, starting with one farm. These include the utilization of cover crops and installation of water and sediment control basins, or WASCOPs for short, along with waterways. The most effective cover crop is the tillage radish, which costs about $60 per acre. With the average farm size in Ohio being 190 acres and only having to use a quarter of farmland, the estimate price of cover crops amounts to $2,850. Also, supplying a farm with one WASCOP for 4 corners will be about $14,284. Finally, the construction of a waterway is nearly $5,000 per. All in all, the net costs total to approximately $20,000 for the retrofits of one farm.